The second method which comes under closed hashing or open addressing method is quadratic probing method. This quadratic probing method uses quadratic function to determine the interval between probes, and this quadratic probing method reduces primary clustering. This primary clustering issue we faced with the linear probing method. With the help of the quadratic probing method, somehow the primary clustering can be avoided, and in quadratic probing, instead of probing the next slot linearly, the algorithm uses a quadratic function to determine the next prob position. If you check linear probing method, there you would have probed to the next slot in a linear manner in a consecutive memory location, but here this quadratic probing method uses a quadratic function to determine the next prob function, and this is not going to be the consecutive position. So if the collision occurs in linear probing method, we'll try searching for the empty slot, but it would check in the consecutive memory locations in the linear probing method. But here in the quadratic probing method, it would look for alternate location, alternate empty slot, but not in a consecutive way. It would be searching it, not in a linear way. It would be searching for the alternate empty slot. So it would check in the next prob position. That is completely based on the quadratic function we use in the formula. So the probing sequence follows a quadratic pattern until an empty slot is found, and the general formula for performing the hashing using this quadratic probing method is, this is the formula: h of key comma I equals to hash key, some hash function we are supposed to use at this place. And as usual, let us go with the modulo division method. You can prefer any other hashing techniques also, like mid square method or folding method or shifting method. You can go with any method, but here in this example I am just going to use the modulo division method plus I square, which is a quadratic thing, I square mod m is nothing but the table size and hash table size, and this I is a prob value. So initially always the prob value is going to be 0. If the collision occurs, you can keep incrementing the prob value and generate the alternate hash value in which the key element can be stored. Let us take one example. Map key of records 6, 14, 9, 23, 54, 64 and 40 in a hash table size of 10, which means we are supposed to insert all these specified key values in a hash table size of 10. Yes, hash table has been created with a size of 10, and this is the formula. This is the formula of quadratic probing. We are going to apply this formula and generate the hash value. Hash value is nothing but the address, the index position where the key elements can be stored. The very first key value here is 6. Let's store 6 in the hash table. To store 6 inside to store any key element inside the hash table, we are supposed to find out the address in which we are going to store the value. To find out the address only, we are going to use this formula. Formula is h of key comma I, key value 6, the key element which you want to store inside the table, and the prob value 0 equals to h of k. Here I am going to use the modulo division method, and modulo division method is key value mod any prime number, any value. Here I am going to use the prime number. Since my hash table size is 10, I am going to use the closest prime number to 10, which is 7. So the key value h of k is k mod p, right? H of k value is k mod p, p is 7. Key value 6, 6 mod 7 plus I value 0, so 0 square mod, the table size is 10. If you apply this formula, 6 mod 7 is 6 only, 6 plus 0 mod 10 is again 6. Which means in the place of 6, check, yes, 6 is empty only, there is no collision. So at index position 6, the key value 6 can be stored. The next key value is 14, and the prob value, initial prob value is going to be 0. Apply the formula, apply modulo division method in the place of h of k, 14 mod 7 plus 0 square mod 10. 14 mod 7 is 0, 0 plus 0 square is again 0, 0 mod 10 is 0. Check index position 0, as it is free only, so you can store the value 14. The next key value is 9. 9 and initial prob value 0. Apply the formula, 9 mod 7 plus prob value 0, so 0 square mod 10. So 9 mod 7 is going to be 2, 2 plus 0 is 2 again, 2 mod 10 is 2. Check index position 2, yes, it is free, so you can store the new key element 9. Next key value is 23, initial prob value 0. Apply the formula, 23 mod 7. So 23 mod 7 is 2. 2 plus 0 is again 2. 2 mod 10 is, we are getting 2 again. You check the index position 2, already the slot 2 is filled, so the collision occurs. If the collision occurs, you are supposed to increment your prob value from 0 to 1. Yes, now the prob value is 1. Now you apply the formula 23 mod 7 plus 1 square mod 10. 23 mod 7 is going to be 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 mod 10 is 3. Check index position 3, yes it is free. At index position 3 you can store the value 23. The next key value which you want to store is 54. 54 and initial prob value 0. Apply the formula 54 mod 7 plus initial prob value 0, so 0 square mod 10. 54 mod 7 is 5. 5 plus 0 is again 5. 5 mod 10, again it is 5. Check index position 5, yes it is free, so you can store the new key value, that is 54. And next key value is 64. Generate the hash value 64 and prob value 0. Apply the formula 64 mod 7 plus 0 square mod 10. So now if you apply 64, yes, it is going to generate 1. The hash value is 1. Check index position 1, it is free only, so you can store the new data element 64. The next key element which you want to store in the hash table is 40. Now with the help of the formula, generate a hash value, generate the address with the prob value 0. 40 mod 7 plus 0 square plus 10, sorry mod 10. 40 mod 7, it is going to be 5. 5 plus 0 again 5. 5 mod 10 is 5. If you check 5, whether the slot 5 is free, no, 5 is not free, collision. So you are supposed to, you cannot place the new key element 40 at index position 5 because collision occurs here. You are supposed to increment your prob value from 0 to 1 and look for alternate index position. So now if you apply the formula 40 mod 7 again, and prob value is 1 now, so 1 square mod 10. Now you will get 6. If you check 6, again 6 is also full, right? Again you keep incrementing the prob value. Now the prob value will get incremented from 1 to 2. Now the prob value is 2. Apply the formula again 40 mod 7 plus 2 square mod 10. 40 mod 7 is 5. 5 plus 2 square is 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 mod 10 is 9. Check, look at the index position 9, whether 9 is free. Yes, 9 is free. If the 9 is free, you can, sorry, I am supposed to place, yeah, it is correct, sorry. Okay, so 40 mod 7 is 2 square, and if you check index position, yes it is free only, the index position 9 is. So at index position 9 you can store the new value, that is 40. And yes, that's it, no more key elements are left out here to insert in the hash table, and all the elements has been inserted here. If you check the key element 23, it took 2 prob sequences, and if you check 40, it took 3 prob values. So whenever we get a collision in linear probing, if you check, you would have got the linear sequences, like if there is a collision at 2, then again you will get 3, then again at 3 also if there is a collision, if 3 slot is also full, then it would, according to the formula, it would recommend 4, then it would recommend 5. So if you take a linear probing method, it would be recommending you the consecutive memory positions when the collision occurs. But when it comes to the quadratic probing, because this leads to, since it is suggesting you the consecutive memory locations as an alternate slot, there are higher chances of getting the problem of primary clustering. When it comes to this quadratic probing, if you check, let's check here. First we got 5, we got a collision at 5, then we got it suggested according to the formula, our hash function suggested the hash value of 6, and after suggesting 6 it suggested the hash value of 9, which means it is not suggesting you the consecutive memory locations. Maybe first two would be the consecutive memory position, since it is 0 and 1, and after the second value it would suggest some other prob value, some other hash value only it would be suggesting it. It would not definitely in a consecutive order, but it definitely do not suggest you the linear order. So somehow the primary clustering problem can be avoided with the help of the quadratic probing method. And also if you look at the hash table, there is no primary clustering here, all the elements are scattered and we have stored here. So somehow we can reduce the problem of primary clustering, but this quadratic probing may cause secondary clustering. Secondary clustering is another form of clustering. It may create a problem of it may cause secondary clustering. Secondary clustering is another form of clustering in closed hashing, which occurs when different keys produce the same prob sequence. So when different keys produce the same prob sequence, which would lead to repeated patterns of collisions, such scenario we call it as the secondary clustering. Now let us discuss the advantages, disadvantages and applications of quadratic probing method. So generally in quadratic probing, when a collision occurs, it resolves the collision by probing the hash table at intervals that grow quadratically. First let us discuss the advantages. First one is reduction of primary clustering. So somehow this primary clustering can be reduced with the help of quadratic probing method. Quadratic probing significantly reduce primary clustering compared to linear probing. So here the collisions are resolved by probing at increasing quadratic intervals, which disperses the clusters more effectively. So here yes, we have dispersed the clusters. This is one cluster and this we can call it as another cluster. So the cluster has been dispersed here effectively with the help of the quadratic probing method. And the second advantage is implementation is simple. Although slightly more complex than linear probing, this quadratic probing is still relatively easy to implement and understand. And third one is good catch performance. Probes are generally closer together compared to more complex schemes like double hashing, and also maintaining some of the catch performance benefits. So here it is because it is closer, the probes are generally closer, right. So it gives very good catch performance. And fourth one is avoidance of secondary clustering. Unlike linear probing, quadratic probing mitigates secondary clustering, collisions that occur due to same probing sequence being followed for different keys to some extent, but still we have problem of secondary clustering here. To some extent this can be avoided. Secondary clustering is nothing but collisions that occur due to the same probing sequence being followed for different keys. Next are disadvantages of quadratic probing method. The very first one is it requires careful table sizing for guaranteed success. Quadratic probing does not guarantee that an empty slot will always be found unless the table size is chosen very carefully. Usually it must be a prime number. This is because the probing sequence might cycle through a subset of the table. And second disadvantage is complexity in deletion, because deletion can be complex, because removing an element might disrupt the prob sequence for other elements. Similar to linear probing, special markers are needed here to indicate the deleted slots. So we might face complexity while performing the deletion operation. And the third one is performance degradation with a high load factor. As with As with other open addressing methods like linear probing or other methods, the performance of quadratic probing degrades as the load factor increases. And again here rehashing might be needed when the load factor increases, which means when the slots are not available to place the key element, we perform rehashing to maintain the efficient performances. And next disadvantages: more complex prob calculation. Calculating the next prob index requires squaring the prob sequence index, right? More complex prob calculation. Calculating the next prob index requires squaring the prob sequence index, which is computationally more expensive than the simple arithmetic which we used in linear probing. Next are applications. This quadratic probing method is used in hash tables in programming languages. Various programming languages and in libraries also, especially where the primary clustering is a concern, we can go with this quadratic probing method, and then again we can implement it in symbol tables and compilers to manage the identifiers. So compilers use symbol tables to manage identifiers. Quadratic probing can be used there to on the symbol tables to reduce clustering and also to maintain efficient lookup times. And third one is catching systems. Quadratic probing is suitable for catching systems where collision resolution efficiency is crucial and a moderate load factor is maintained. We can go with this quadratic probing method. And again for database indexing also this can be used. Linear probing also can be used for database indexing. Even quadratic probing also can be used to handle collision more effectively, because somehow this quadratic probing handles the collision more effectively than the linear probing method, especially when data distribution is expected to cause clustering. And again the fifth application is same, embedded systems where the memory and processing power are constrained. Quadratic probing provides a balance between the simplicity and the performance, which would make it a viable option for hash based data structures. In summary, quadratic probing is a collision resolution technique that addresses primary clustering more effectively than linear probing, and it is simple to implement and it offers good catch performance, and it is suitable for various other applications including the programming language libraries, compilers, catch systems, database indexing and embedded systems. And as I discussed, for any hashing method the time complexity is going to be the average case is 1 to perform any operation, and the worst case is n due to the collision. Thank you.